Welcome back, folks. As you can tell, today I'm in the shop. What I'm doing today is I'm cutting posts for the beams that we put up last time out of the build. Now, in order to cut the beams, I'm going to use my Dewalt here. Real good saw. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but this saw is going to help me get all the beams cut to length. I got a kind of a rudimentary little picture here I drew while I was out there. That's going to be the measurement. So we'll have 8 beams in total, and I should have just enough material to do so. These 6x6s, so I cut them last year. They got some fungi growing on them a little bit here, but they'll do just fine. Once we get them cut, what's going to happen is I'm going to dress the bottom of the post, so the section that's closest to the ground, with this product. And basically, what it is, it's like a I guess it's like a weatherproofing. So it's going to be helping it to not rot. So that's the goal. I'm going to get after it here. And here we go. And as I go here, I always square up the ends, so both ends are completely flat. So right here, this is probably an end I cut with a chainsaw, so it's definitely not acceptable when you start doing some framing. And very important here, I'm making sure that I'm pressing firmly against the fence and that it's completely flat on the base of the saw. This saw is really great because it's got a light and it cascades, or it sheds a cut line, so it makes it easy to line up. And you can see as a result you get a perfectly flush cut. So. Okay, now this is going to make the wood go green and act as a protectant, sort of like a pressure treating minus the pressure. Some of this wood is already pressure treated because I used some scrap like this here, but this is good if you ever make cuts in pressure treated lumber, like if you're building a deck and you want to ensure that after you make the cut, that cut end which is now exposed to the elements, is protected, you would use something like this. So give it a little stir there. I'm just going around. I'm basically going to go, I don't know, maybe 6 inches from the bottom. And yeah, don't be stingy here. It's always best. You don't want the wood to come into direct contact with the ground and concrete, like in those blocks I'm using. They're porous, so they allow moisture to travel through them. Hence, this stuff. And if you notice, I lean my head back, or I wear safety glasses doing this. As I'm painting going upwards, the brush comes off the top, it tends to splash, and I'm sure the optometrist doesn't like seeing this in the eyes. Okay, since all the ends are freshly cut, the tubules, the pieces that run through the grain of the wood, actually are now kind of open. And so that's a good time to apply this stuff. So if you have the option between treating a already cut or an old end and a freshly cut end, treat the freshly cut end. It'll take this stuff better. Well guys, with the sun setting and me out of breath, that's a pretty good day in the books. As you saw, we got all the posts cut to length, we got them tacked into position. We also looked at plumbness, so straight up and down of both beams. Now next time you're going to see me do a bit more bracing to more or less firm up the base, then we'll get into floor joists. This tiny house / cabin's really coming along. Make sure you guys hit subscribe if you haven't already, and for everyone else, I appreciate you watching. See you all next time.